After the ball is over, after the skein is done, after the die lot's finished, and you are short just one, many a knitter has made a tearful and desperate call, pleading with their local yarn shop, go after that ball.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Pen, Hook, and Needles podcast, episode 405. Today is Saturday, June 6, 2020, as we are recording. I am Marlisha, also known as Lady Fernico.
And I'm Talia, also known as Franciscan Gypsy.
We want to welcome all new and returning viewers to the Foon in the Woman Cave. Before we go any further, though, I do want to make an announcement. We had put a notice on the last podcast that I had made a mistake about...
I'm sorry, in my head I'm seeing... Because I was listening to Lord of the Rings a couple weeks ago. I see Bilbo. I have an announcement.
Okay. Anyway.
To Proudfoots and...
Yes. Okay.
Sorry, go on.
All right.
Sex with Bagginses.
Yes. All right. As I was saying...
She has an announcement.
I had made a mistake in the dates of the ending of the alongs that were going on right now because Lady Fernico Creations, which has now been locked and closed and pulled for... Because that closed May 31st, for some reason in my fog brain last week, I was like, oh, they all end 31st of May. No. Lady Fernico Creations is finished. I have pulled for the prizes. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But the autism awareness goes into the end of this month, okay? And, of course, the charity along goes to the end of the year. So you still have another 3 weeks or so for autism awareness, and you have up to the end of the year for the charity along. We don't start tortoise versus hare and the cardiac dysautonomia until July 1st. Okay, I apologize for confusion. I did get one or two messages saying, hey, what's going on? So,
yes, and I never did respond to the YouTube messages, but someone was confused because she said she watched the podcast and it had the errors, and then she watched it again. And it was fixed.
That was Mooney Hiker.
It's because someone warned me early on. It took me a little while to get it edited, reformatted, and then up again. It was still the same day. You just must have paused and come back.
There were a couple. One of them told us that it was Mooney Hiker, I think, who said that she took a visit to the Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
So, yes, we aim to please the Twilight Zone.
And Laura had watched it early and had given me a heads up.
Right.
And that's when I started editing it. It just took a little while to get
Thank you, Laura.
Again. Thank you. And I know the other one who had watched it before and who had said something, but not necessarily about there being an issue, was Patty. So, yes, it has been fixed. That is not your imagination. There was an unfixed version.
It was a prophetic naming of the podcast.
Yes, we didn't know how much.
It was full of errors.
Very full of errors.
Okay, we want to welcome all new and returning viewers, okay? If you are new, we're glad that you found us, and we hope that you will find something you like and that you will return. Please feel free to, hit the little bell and to subscribe so you can...
There's some of the things that I see say, do all the YouTube things, like, subscribe.
Are you quite finished?
Well, that's what people say.
You're an oboe head. We're not there yet.
That's what my head looks like.
We're not there yet. Anyway, I'll try this again.
That is what people say.
I
am Groot.
I am Groot. I am Groot. Anyway.
I don't like being talked to that way, Groot.
I am Groot. Anyway, if you're new, we're glad that you found us. If you're returning, we're glad to have you with us. If you are in the shadows, new or returning, please do feel free to press the subscribe button on the right on your YouTube there and hit the little bell so you get notifications. Also pushes us up for people who are looking for knitting and crocheting podcasts. And it also allows you, we'd like you to join the PHN Home group, which is a website, I guess you call it?
It's a forum.
It's a forum that we have. And that's where you can do all the alongs and get the coupons and the pages.
Website makes it sound too fancy. This is a forum.
This is a forum.
I don't know HTML or anything fancy like that.
It's at phnpodcast.freeforums.net. Okay, it's phnpodcast.freeforums.net, and that's where all the alongs and all the giveaways and all the fun stuff over there happens. It's a really lively group. It's a lot of fun, and we have wonderful, excellent moderators and quasi-moderators and members. So, please, we'd love to have you there if you feel like you'd like to do that.
Yes.
I guess we should go into tea before we do the giveaway.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, because
Mom has more projects than me.
This is what my daughter's head looks like, which is an oboe.
Now, funny story before she goes on to what tea she has. She's running low on that. It's one of her favorites. So I went ahead to order some for her. Just a warning, log in to your Plum Deluxe before you order tea. Because if you're not logged in and then you log in after, if you had anything in your cart when you were logged in previously, what you added to your cart when you're not logged in will add on to that previous order. And you'll be ordering twice the tea that you planned on ordering.
Because we just made another order last week.
So, I have a lot of tea coming in.
Thankfully, I'm paying for mine.
Yeah.
So this is my...
At least I won't have to get black tea for a while.
This is what my daughter's head looks like. And the tea in this is vanilla sugar cookie dessert tea, which is lightly sweet and special. I'm sorry, I can't read this without my glasses. Can you read it?
Yes. Lightly sweet and spiced, full of love. Green rubios, cinnamon chips, blackberry leaf, ginger root, fennel seeds, vanilla essence, love and gratitude. And it's funny. I don't seem to mind green rubios, but just plain green tea is not necessarily my favorite.
And this has caffeine in it.
Oh yeah. No caffeine. Excuse me, no caffeine.
Oh, I was hoping it had caffeine. I thought it said caffeine when I looked at it.
Nope, no caffeine.
Okay.
You should look at tea with your glasses.
Yeah, I saw caffeine.
You wanted to see caffeine. So for me...
Do you want to test it?
I know what this tastes like, but I'll go ahead and take a taste. Because you're going to want to take a taste of mine because you haven't had mine. That is a good tea.
Yeah, it is.
I think I had that 2 weeks ago.
I love this.
Okay, so in my this is what my head looks like mug, which you saw briefly a second ago, but this was the tea I wanted to order. And I do have it coming in.
This is the one I wanted.
Yeah.
Because I only had this one.
We just have also a double of our past order coming in. So, tidbit, pay attention when you order. So this is Plum Deluxe tea. Fog Cutter black tea. Sorry, it's clear through the emotional clutter and focus on your dreams. So it's Assam black tea, Ceylon black tea, African black tea, Darjeeling black tea.
Might be black tea.
It might be black tea. Lemon peel, love and gratitude. I feel like I've when you have something come off your yarn or something and it feels like it's itching your nose. That's what it feels like. And this, obviously with all that black tea, it has caffeine in it. He described this as an Irish breakfast tea. I love Irish breakfast. When I was still drinking bagged teas, that was my go-to, and after that was Lady Grey, and then after that was Earl Grey.
So we had the similar for those kind of teas.
Yeah. But I think you didn't steep it as long either.
I don't know. I didn't pay attention back when we did the bagged teas.
Right.
I just did it.
I was starting to toward the end because I was making my transition.
Because I was a tea heathen, I just said, okay, this looks good. And if it didn't taste good, I just steeped it a little longer.
And then you squeezed the bag. So...
Orson Welles would not... Was it Orson Welles?
I don't approve.
Would not approve. That's what the bag is for.
No, it's bad. It makes the tea more bitter. Something about crushing the leaves.
Oh, this is good.
Yeah, it's
this
Irish
is
breakfast.
Really, really good.
It's really good.
Now I remember why I like this one. I should have ordered some of that. Yeah. That's a good tea.
Well, I think it'll be there a little while.
Yeah, I think so.
Because this is not I think it's just the first time I've seen it. Doesn't mean that it's going away.
I'm going to have to order some of that, yes.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll go back and do that in a little bit.
Although, it's probably still better if you do it through me because I have the free shipping.
Yeah.
Which you don't have. And it makes no sense for you to pay for shipping. It's easier for you just to pay me back and not have shipping.
Yeah. Because that I do like. Some teas I'm noticing that I got a bunch of them while I was really drinking a lot, and then we had that kind of hiatus from teas for whatever reason.
And then we're redeveloping
our taste, and some of them I don't like as much. The Irish breakfast, the English breakfast, Earl Grey and Lady Grey are always on the top
Well,
of my
I'm
list.
returning to some of my base, which is black teas. For a little while when I couldn't have as much black tea because I was watching it because of my heart rate, I had to move away to some of the fruitier ones, which I honestly don't like quite as much.
I do like the fruity ones. My weakness,
I mean, I like them, but I prefer a lot of times black
my
teas.
weakness in the past has been chocolate, but now I'm going to the vanilla and the ginger and cinnamon and things like that. Shortbread, that kind of stuff. Banana, that was good. Banana bread.
You see, that was too banana-y for
I
me.
love
But
that.
I also don't like the taste of banana.
I really like that. Okay, moving on, because this is not a tea podcast.
But it is related.
It is related for us. All right, our 400 episode giveaway. Thank you to everybody who participated in the Lady Fernico Creations mystery / regular yarn along there.
Oh, I just wanted to say a quick hey to the, I can't remember who it was, you probably will, the poor lady who was talking to you back and forth on my Facebook, how she, likes it when we talk about a tea, but she can't drink tea.
I'm sorry, I can't remember your name. She's such a sweetheart.
Oh, and I can't pull her name out of my head right now.
My brain is like really foggy.
Because you guys had a, well, this is supposed to cut your fog, Mom.
But I'm not drinking that. I'm drinking this.
I need fog cutter with brain fog that I
I
get.
tell you what, she's really a doll. She's a sweetheart, and we were talking, and I felt bad because she had trouble with some of the teas. And I told her to keep watching because we might stumble on something together that she could drink and enjoy.
Right.
Because she's, I want her to be able to enjoy her Plum Deluxe tea.
Yeah.
So she's really nice.
And Patty, you were saying that your last package came in yellow. This had come up actually in the Plum Deluxe group. Someone was saying, "Hey, where's my purple package? It came up yellow." And I don't know if he wasn't able to get the purple packages or what, but they were saying, "Well, it's for iced tea." Yeah, it's iced tea. So
No.
it's for iced tea.
No, Andy. Good try, Andy. Good try. Yeah, I told her that. Yeah, she said it was the end of the world or something.
As we know it.
As we know it. So, of the world as you know it. Yep. Okay. 400 episode giveaway for the mystery along. Thank you everybody who participated. It's really exciting to see my yarn worked up in so many different projects, and quite a few in your patterns too, I think.
Yeah, I had to take a look and see. I haven't been.
I don't remember. I might be because we have so many. I'm trying to keep up with the threads, and so I get confused as to what's in what.
Right, I get confused what's in what.
Yep.
And sometimes things are in both.
Right.
Like in multiple threads, so then I get really confused about which thread I'm in.
Now this is kind of funny because both Patty and Rena. Well, I'll tell you after this. Okay, the two winners. We had two winners. The first one I pulled was for the owl. That's for this, right?
Yeah, the owl bag is for that.
Yeah, okay.
Because I remember Divina saying that it was appropriate because it was your yarn.
Yeah, hold on. Let me just check something because apparently I just put with the... Here we go, prizes. All right. The owl bag and crochet hook set. That's this. This hook set was donated by Patty. Okay, Wombat of Doom. So this and this goes to Rena. Okay, Rena Gale. Okay?
Yay!
So Rena, this is going to you. Congratulations. Ow. It hit you.
Yes, it did.
So that's to Rena. Rena, I need to have your name and address. Yes, I know all this stuff. Just send it to me because it makes me feel loved. And besides, that means I can find it. Okay? So tell me what you won for the Lady Fernico Creations giveaway. And this skein of Lady Fernico Creations, I'm going to have to reskein this for you. This is on my Comet base, and it's Midnight Sky. It's a fingering sock, and 411 yards, 100 grams, 90% superwash merino, and 10% lurex. And this is Patty, Wombat of Doom. So Patty, yes, I know you have. Just send it to me anyway, because I like to hear from you. The funny thing that I was trying to mention to you was Valeria closed the threads
because it was time.
Because it was time. But sometimes she closes it earlier than others, and so...
And it was still within the proper day.
It was still the right day. She did exactly what she was supposed to do.
It's just that in certain parts of the U.S., the time... It's a time zone.
And it's flexible. We did mention that it's flexible.
We did mention it was flexible.
So, for those on the West Coast and stuff, sometimes it might not be a good idea to wait till the last minute.
Mm-hmm.
But Patty and Rena both had things that they were going to put in, and Patty didn't make it in for hers, and Rena did, but she pulled it out because the only reason she was able to get in was because she was an administrator. She didn't not administrator, moderator, and she didn't know that was done. Well, it wasn't those two that won. It was other posts within. So I just thought it was hysterical because they really wanted to get their other
last minute,
and I already pulled. By the time they got I already pulled for them.
It's kind of actually,
it was kind of funny.
So hilarious.
Yeah. So we have Valeria did exactly what she was supposed to do. Just beware, West Coasters and people who wait to the last minute. You might want to get it in a couple hours before midnight on Pacific. On Eastern Standard Time.
Because you might luck out and you might be open later, but you might also not, depending on how life is going.
And if you wake up the next morning and there was something you managed to finish at night and you say, oh, it's still open, then you can still
totally.
But you might want to you might want to just kind of say, okay, they're doing it by East Coast time at the earliest. That's what I need to shoot for. It might be later, but just shoot for the East Coast midnight.
Right, because sometimes Valeria's not able to close it for us, and then Mom or I do it when we wake up.
And that's like at 4 a.m. or 6 a.m. on the day, so you have some extra time.
So it all depends on who gets to the thread first.
Right. So thank you, Valeria, for doing that.
Thank you, Valeria.
She was well within her bounds to do it. We were very, very happy that she did it. And because it gets busy over here, and sometimes I forget, and then it's like, oh my gosh, it's 12 o'clock.
Yeah, and I definitely forget.
So this is, Rena, this is yours, okay? Thank you, Patty, for the donation of the hooks.
Thank you.
This one is Patty's. Wombat of Dune.
I was like, gosh, I hope Patty didn't win her hooks back.
I was really worried about that. Her winning that because they're fairly lucky. So those are the winners for that. Congratulations. We will pull for the other winners at the end of June. So it'll be like whenever we close
not the end of July.
Not the end of July, the end of June. Okay. All right, moving on to our alongs. Let me just go back here a little bit.
Do you have the actual current ones on? Because it looks like you have it changed.
No, I have it.
Okay.
I didn't change what was up there. I just, if you look here, you can see that. Let me see. Upcoming.
Oh, okay, good.
Okay, so the PHN Charity Cal Lao 2020. That's the one that started January 1st, and it goes to December 31st. We're heading into the end of our second quarter at the end of this month. So you have about 3 weeks to finish your things for the end of the quarter. And I'm going to, as I always do, I'm going to say verbatim the rules for this along, and then I'll just say what changes in the other alongs. Okay, the projects must be knit, loom knit, or crocheted. Previous whips will be allowed, but must be worked on during the along. That's pretty easy, being a year-long thing. Chatter and pictures are all on the same thread. All charity projects will be accepted. Baby items are eligible for 2 chances at a prize, as are the blue hats not hate. Those are 2 eligible 2 chances at a prize. I'm sorry, got tongue ties there. Let me see here. The masks that are being made for the healthcare workers and stuff.
Sewn masks.
Those are the only sewn masks. Those are the only sewn objects we will accept, okay, for 2 chances at a prize, probably ever. So those are accepted. Any FOs in Franciscan Gypsies designs or My Shawl pattern or Laura concert patterns that are for charity are 2 chances at a prize for the FO. And if you use anything in My Yarn or Laura Concert's Lollipop Girl yarns, that is 2 chances at a prize for an FO. And if you use the feature project with a featured pattern with a featured yarn, that's 3 chances at a prize. You are responsible for your own multiple postings. You guys have been great about that. Thank you so much. It's hashtag PHN 2020 charity hashtag PHN Charity 2020 on Instagram. All right, and what we're looking for right now in terms of prizes are a knit baby book for 1 winner and a Croy Socks FX yarn. That's 2 skeins donated by Christina, who's Mama C. So that's some really good prizes for that. Autism awareness is ending at the end of this month, and the blah blah blah. All right, maybe I should just not talk.
Take a sip of your tea.
Yeah, I think I need my tea because I'm hot here. Okay.
Wait, you're hot, so you're gonna take a sip of your tea? What?
Never mind. Oh boy, that's tasting good now that I sat my sugar and stuff. Okay, autism awareness ends at the end of the month, and so you got about 3 weeks. Rules are basically the same, except that it has to be bright colored yarn, the majority of the project, 75% at least, And our co-host for this is Laura Concert, and she may require more bright yarn. I'm not sure. In the past, she's done as much as 90%.
So yeah, you have to check her rules.
So check her rules.
And I think you can find her rules on her Facebook.
Probably, yeah.
And on her Ravelry.
And if you're not sure, you can email her or contact her wherever.
I think we have that contact information still there.
We still have it. It's in the threads, how to get a hold of Laura. So she is on our group and everything. So she's amazingly available. So you can just ask her if you're confused about what to do with that. So bright colored knit, crocheted, or like, I'm not going to go through that part of it. You guys know what we accept. The featured patterns, Taya's patterns, Laura's patterns, my pattern, the braided bright by George, 10 hours or less. Miss World.
Check out his website.
Yes, Miss World's, who's Amy, her weighted lap gown with the teddy bear, and Juliana Lund's Winding Journey, I think it is.
Before you continue onward, I do want to make a point for people who might be new to the PHN forums. We do have, I believe it's in the announcements area, a thread for sites where you can find patterns that are not on Ravelry. The only reason why I'm bringing this up in particular is I believe 10 Hours or Less's website is on there. And I know that he does... it seems like he fairly often has sales.
He does.
That pops up.
I usually post those in the announcements or wherever
and
it is.
I think he usually sends those by email.
He does.
So just as an FYI, even if you don't purchase anything right away, it's really nice to get on that email list so you are aware of his sales that he has.
George has he
does crochet and knit patterns.
George holds a special place for us in our hearts because he was very supportive of us when we first started.
Yeah, when we were still a baby podcast.
Had like 10 people or something like that.
8 years ago, 9 years ago.
Yeah, he was fantastic. He was absolutely fabulous. He and Anastasia Zattel and Knitting's My Bag.
Shannon Mullet Bowlesby.
Yes, Shannon Mullet Bowlesby. Those people.
He's another designer. They were very helpful in helping us. I don't know.
They were instrumental in getting us to expand a little bit.
Yeah.
And they I don't know where to find them anymore. I think they must have a website because Craftsy has gone away.
Oh, Shannon
had classes on there.
I'm hoping that's right, you did.
I have a couple of his classes. I hope I don't lose them. They're amazing. So those people are very amazing. If you find patterns that can fit in this along bright colors, please do use them. But the ones who are featured are 10 Hours or Less, Julianne Lund's Winding Journey hat, George's for the braided bright, and then Miss World's lapgan and weighted lapgan and teddy bear. And I'm not sure where you can find her if it's not on Ravelry.
I don't know either because I only knew her on Ravelry.
Yeah, I only knew her on Ravelry, but
she might be. A lot of people are only available on Ravelry.
Right. And so if you have access to Ravelry, and sometimes you can get patterns.
You can purchase patterns even if you're not on there.
Go through the back door, but those are the featured patterns. Of course, our featured yarns, as I mentioned, are the same, mine, Laura's. So those are two chances for a prize for the FO and 3 chances if you have the yarn and the pattern together.
And again, before I continue on to next along, just because I was thinking about people who are very good about sending sales and stuff, another person who's very good about sending sales, I just got an email today from Pearl Soho. She's constantly sending information about sales or free patterns.
She's great. I should get on her email. I wasn't on for a while.
It's a lot of emails, but it's I think she just sent a dishcloth pattern today.
I have to check her out because I had her for a while and I got overwhelmed, so I think I got off for a while.
She sends a lot of emails.
And I have to tell you, it's nothing to do with her. It was just overwhelming for me.
Mom, when she gets overwhelmed with getting too many emails, will jettison everybody. And then she'll come back and pick and choose, and then she'll get overwhelmed and she'll jettison everybody.
Yeah. I can't. I don't deal very well with too much in my inbox.
You can't even.
I can't even. Okay, so if we haven't now thoroughly confused you, it's hashtag PHNAA2020 on Instagram for us. I'm not sure what Laura's is. I think it's probably something like, hashtag CW.
We don't want to guess because we don't want to.
Yeah, I don't know. You'll have to ask Laura what hers is. She okay, let me see here. Get that we did my prizes. Just because we mentioned featured projects or featured patterns and things like that doesn't mean you have to use those.
No,
I want to make sure that's clear. Those are just eligible for more chance at a prize.
Right, you just get double the chance.
Mm-hmm. Okay. We don't start the tortoise versus hare or cardiac dysautonomia until July. Okay? So you can be thinking about those. I'm going to be hopefully developing some colors for various things.
It means that all my rushing for the pattern last week was for naught.
And I'm sitting here banging my head against, how am I going to do this for this tortoise versus hare things, this yarn?
I wonder if Laura was like, you guys are morons.
She better not call her mother a moron. All right, let's see here. That's an inside joke.
Yeah.
Laura will get it. All right, let's see.
Because she must have been like, guys, it's July.
She's funny. She makes me giggle. Okay.
It's all your fault. I was following your lead.
If you have any questions about what we've been talking about because of misinterruption over there and my mouth being unable to talk properly, just shoot me an email or something, or put it in a thread.
I can't be misinterruption and oboe head. It has to be one or the other.
Oh, you're a very interruptive oboe head.
One or the other.
No, I have every faith in your ability to do both.
To multitask.
Yeah. Which brings us into rough drafts.
Which you start with, because you said you have 8, do you not?
I think I do. 1, 2, 3.
I'm going to open my show notes again.
4.
And when you saw me typing earlier, I was actually adding
Yeah, I have 8.
something to my show notes I'd forgotten to put in, but not a project. It was just something else.
Okay.
Excuse me. I have, hold on, let me count it. I'm pretty sure I have 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I have 6.
1, let's see, 2.
Oh, and
3, 4.
while yours
5, 6,
is in
7,
FO, mine is in
8.
Franciscan Gypsy Designs.
Oh, okay.
So,
All right. So let's start. Let me make sure I have the first one here. Okay. Okay.
So you're gonna do 2.
2 for the first one.
Yeah.
Okay, the first one I have is in my Knitting's My Bag, Monet, but not
Be
really.
2 for the first 2.
No.
Okay.
Okay. We'll see when we get to the very end.
Okay.
If I have to do 2, I'll do 2. But I don't think so. Okay, in my Knitting's My Bag, Monet, but it's really Sarah bag, is my, speaking of Pearl Soho, it's Elementary, My Dear Watson project from the Elementary Wrap by Pearl Soho.
I always get confused about whether that's a Pearl Soho pattern or whether or not that's a Joanna Johnson, because Joanna Johnson has the whole Sherlock
yeah, I have
book.
that. I have that on my needles, but I haven't done it in a while. So this is curling a whole lot, but I did a couple rows on this. I think I did like 3 or 4 rows on this, and it's just really curling, so you can't really see it.
Mm-hmm.
But this is my favorite gray from Miss Babs, and
That's slate, isn't it?
yeah, and you can see that. Let me see. I think I can open it up because I'm not in the middle of the road.
I think it's also why you're trying to work. You're working on a lot more. A, it's a color you really like, and B, that other one's a scarf, and this one's more of a wrap.
Right. So you can see how big this is going to be.
And there's something about the nature scarves that seem to take forever.
Yeah. So this one is going to be a nice, big kind of just wrap up and get warm. And it's not overly heavy. It's a DK weight yarn, and it's in stockinette for the most part. It's a very simple pattern. It might even be free. I'm not sure. I don't want to give too much away.
I don't think you purchased any Pearl Sohos, but I don't want to say for sure because I don't have that pattern, so I can't tell you.
But I was really impressed with it because it's simple, and I could probably use one of my variegateds for this.
Oh yeah, I'm
because
sure.
it's just it would probably show off those really fancy yarns that have all kinds of interest in them.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's no patterning to it. It's just a very simple. But I wanted something that was
that you couldn't mess up.
No, I wanted something that was restful and just kind of like it can go with anything. Mm-hmm. And sometimes when I don't feel well, if I want to cuddle up, I don't want something that's really busy.
Yeah, I understand that.
I just want something that's plain, and it's kind of classic.
Mm-hmm. Want to go with anything?
Yeah, so I like it. So I like Pearl Soho.
I do. I actually didn't work on the pattern that I have of hers this week, which is the sweater.
Right. Oh, it's still my turn, isn't it?
It is, because that was just one project, right?
Yes, it is. All right, so my next one is... okay. In my Ninja Turtle baby blanket project, somebody said they were looking forward to seeing this finish. Oh,
that
it was
Crystal.
Crystal, I think I worked half a row on it. I do want to see it. I truly do. Crystal,
it's like the easiest project you have going right now.
Crystal is chronically crochet, okay? And is it chronically crochet or chronically crocheting?
I'm not sure. I'm sure if you look up Chronically Crochet, you'll still find her on YouTube.
She's amazing. She's a sweetheart. She's another one who suffers with POTS. She's a chronically ill person. And she's just a trooper. She has an amazing attitude.
I'm not sure if it's POTS or she has a different kind of dysautonomia. I can't remember.
I think she has POTS. Okay. I think she said she was... I know she's chronic.
I follow a lot of chronic illness people on YouTube, and I start mixing up people's diagnoses.
Crystal, you can correct us in the thread if you watch us and you find that we are wrong. You can tell us what it is, because she's very open about it. That's the only reason why I'm saying it. But anyway, Crystal, we will get there. You and I together, we will get there. Okay.
Is she working this
No. She's just she's cheering me on from the sidelines. I can feel it. So yeah, I worked on like maybe this much.
Now that was the Lovecrafts pattern, wasn't it?
It is. You know, I might have actually worked like from 3/4 of the way here all the way to the end and then half. That's probably what I did. In any event, I don't think it was quite a row. I'm really close to changing colors. The day I was working it, I was really tired. And I worked it. I said, I can't do this right now.
Was that the first day of the thunderstorm?
I don't know when I did this. I can't remember that far back.
Because we mark days by weather here.
So, yeah, I mean, this is a fun pattern. It should have been done like 50 times by now. Because this is something I could probably do in my sleep if I just did it. So, yeah.
But strangely, it doesn't crochet up itself.
It doesn't. I don't know why it doesn't, and give me all the credit.
It's rather, unkind of it.
It is. I'm a little peeved at it. Okay.
Okay, so I'm just readjusting my needles so I can show this to its best advantage. I need to pull up my show notes. So actually, this is something I didn't have started last time. This is not a design of mine. This is the only one I worked on this week that's not a design of mine, actually.
You made a lot of progress on that.
Yes, I did. Well, a lot of it was made on Sunday. So I am in a Facebook group and have been a while. It's called the Fair Isle Fisherman's Kep. And it's a group that it's supporting a pattern and does a bunch of alongs for this pattern that this museum on the Fair Isles.
Oh, okay. It's actually on the Fair Isles.
Yeah, it's actually on the Fair Isles. I like the lady is almost actively going, oh, when you guys all come to the Fair Isles, it's like, yes, all of us from all over the world are going to come to the, because it's a small little island, isn't it? Like, I think we would probably end up into the sea or something.
I'm not really sure exactly. I'm going to show my ignorance. I'm not sure where that is.
I mean, is
it off of England or Scotland?
I feel like it's off of England or Scotland or something. I really don't know exactly where it is.
I get confused with all these different
little islands,
like Azores and things like that.
I know it's in that area near England, Scotland, all that. I just don't know quite where it is.
Right.
But they say it's really beautiful there.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
Now, of course, they're also biased.
No, but usually places that have this kind of wool stuff, and fishing and stuff like that, tend to be really pretty.
So you get the proceeds from the pattern go to the museum, and I happened to join the along. I finally decided to jump in and just do the pattern, and I joined the along right when it happened to be starting, like a week after it started, or like 5 days after it started. I'm not quite caught up with everybody, but they are giving us an extra week to finish this part because enough people were like, please, can we extend it? So it's the Fair Isle Fisherman's Kep by Auntie Claire. This is a recipe, not like a design like we're used to here in the States, or even I think in England and some of the other places. It's more of an old-fashioned type of pattern where they assume you know a lot, and they give you just the basics that you need to go onward. I was mad I had to do math initially, and then once I got over myself, I was like, okay, well, this is still going to be fun because I'm still going to learn some tools. Well, apparently traditionally for these kind of patterns, you use long DPNs, and I happen to have some in the size I needed from when I first started using DPNs to knit sweater sleeves.
Right.
Because the short ones are really bad for sweater sleeves. So these are my old knit picks. I've been using my knit picks and some of my old needles a lot lately because I've been running out of my chow goose. So I'm really glad I didn't get rid of my old metal needles because I've been digging into them. I never thought I'd use these long DPNs again. These are US 4s, I believe. And
they're kind of big for 4s.
I'm pretty sure they're 4s.
You're probably right. They just look like they're big.
So let me flip it up. Hold on.
Oh, so okay. I was wondering what it was.
That's supposed to be... So it's a fingering weight yarn.
Isn't that pretty?
And what I am going to show, and I don't think it's giving away too much, you can see the ribbing in underneath. It's, you knit it one way, and then there's the wrong side. So you can have color work.
And still have some give.
And still have some give. And also, you have color work all the way around. It's not like you have to have this section of ribbing where it's just ribbing.
Right.
You get the pretty color work all around.
That's a clever idea.
I thought so. So it's one of those things like I'm putting ideas in a box somewhere in the back of my head. Like, oh, that's a good idea. Maybe
you should probably write it down because usually your box gets lost.
Well, I'll have the project.
Okay.
I'm not giving this away. There was like an eon of ribbing. I'm not giving this away.
An eon isn't like that much ribbing. It's about what, 4 inches?
I don't remember. It seemed like an eon. And it's fingering weight yarn.
But that would make it, yeah.
And the needle size for that part is smaller.
Oh, is it?
Well, it usually is for ribbing.
Okay.
I
like this.
Yes, I really enjoyed that. And you get to choose your different charts for the different sections because they give you a bunch to choose from.
But I like the color choices there.
Thank you. So what I'm doing is I decided for my mixing colors, I'm going to show you my colors. So I obviously have... What I'm currently working with is the black and the red. You have 5 colors, although you can go with more. And then I have pink, blue, and yellow. And certain colors can't be backdropped against each other because they're too close. Mm-hmm. Like the blue and the red are too close in shade when you take a black and white picture, so they can't be together. And the yellow and the pink, even though you'd think they might show up really well together, when you take a black and white, they're way too close and they don't contrast well against each other. So what I'm going to be doing is each section... Okay, so here you can see my yellow was my secondary color, whereas my black was my main background color. So here for this section, then I did yellow, and I chose the contrasting color, which happened to be the red. So the next section, my red's my background color, and now the black is the background. So I'll do the next time, black is the background, and then I'll have a different contrasting color. And every time the secondary color will become the next background. So they're still all linked, but I get to use all the colors. Now this, I think, is a little bit... This is nowhere near traditional colors.
Right.
And some people have some beautiful colors choices they've chosen. And it's really the nicest place to be on in Facebook right now. It's like the only... That and Bakery Bears. Like, those are the only 2 places I'm hanging out right now on Facebook for any... Because everyone's
Our
so...
Our writers group is pretty good.
They are pretty good. I'm sorry. Our writers group is good.
Yeah.
But, yeah, those are the places I'm hanging out right now because right now... Facebook's a mess.
Yeah, among other places.
Yes. So this is just a nice place to be. Everyone's supportive. Like I said, she's like, you guys need to all come to the Fair Isle.
I want to hear her say that in whatever accent she has.
I wonder what kind of... I'm assuming it's a British type accent.
Maybe a Scottish, maybe, or something.
I don't know.
I don't know. I'd like to hear that because I like accents. They're neat.
So yeah, this has been enjoyable. Like I said, initially I was mad because of the charts are written by hand.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, look at that. That's actually written.
Right. Like on graph paper.
On graph paper. She actually went X's and all that. So it was a little bit of a I had to in my brain go like, okay, this is a different way of writing patterns. Mm-hmm. This isn't the way that I would sell patterns. Probably in the U.S. it wouldn't fly with most patterns because we like to have it look a certain way. We like to have everything spelled out for us. But this is enjoyable, and I'm glad that it's going toward the museum. The proceeds.
It looks pretty clear to me.
Well, that's because I had to cut out the parts that weren't applicable.
Okay, gotcha.
But where am I? There. Okay. So, yes. There's where I am. You confused me now.
Did not, in fact. All right.
But yes, and also I think they were saying that in their island museum they're talking about putting a bird observatory in.
Oh, neat.
So
I love birds. Okay, in my Silver Shed USA owls bag, this is Archimedes Divina designed for me and put together because she's amazing. Both of them are. And so this is my Taste of Autumn shawl project from the Scrap Shawl project pattern by Anastasia Zattel. And that's another one. I haven't seen a lot of her. And she's another one who was very instrumental.
I think she
in
was
supporting
already
us.
starting to slow down even before.
She was.
I think it had been years since we had really seen much in the way of designs or anything from her.
Well, she started going toward knitting because for a long time she was doing
Yeah.
only crocheting. And then she went for designs.
Mm-hmm.
And then because I tested several things for her. And then she
kind of dropped off.
she had some things going on.
Yeah.
And I used to worry about her a little bit. She's a sweetheart, and she was very supportive. She was one of the first people to donate things to our podcast.
Yeah, that's right.
So she's Anastasia. If by chance you are still watching us, hi. This is the Taste of Autumn shawl, and I think I did maybe a couple rows on this.
I need to go back to doing what I used to do. It just occurred to me where I post on Instagram when we have the podcast up. I don't know why I stopped doing that.
Don't know. I do not, in fact, know. I'll get my notes here. I lost my notes. Okay. And I don't know. This is Miss Babs. The variegated and the kind of dark rust color on this are Miss Babs. And the gold is Sunset by Malabrigo. And I do love Malabrigo yarn. So, isn't that pretty? I like it. This is going to tie. Oh, and you guys will be happy to know that the other one, the blue one, is on its way to its new home. I did send it out. It was hard. It was hard, but it went out, and I'm glad. I hope the person likes it. This one will also go to somebody, so that person over there.
This somebody.
That's somebody over there. So, but I do have one that's pretty. I want to make another one in DK. And see if I can.
What weight is this one for?
This is DK.
DK. Oh, okay. Sorry. The way you said it, I thought you were saying it was a different weight.
Well, no, my blue one that I have is worsted, almost Aran.
Oh,
so
okay.
it's pretty heavy. My Zarina shawl.
Well, you tend to like a little bit of a lighter. You liked the airiness of the last one you made.
Well, I had a lighter yarn because I think that was a sport, and I had a bigger hook.
Right.
So it was a little fiddly to start, but I really love the way it feels and it drapes.
Well, maybe you should be looking at your sports then, and not at your.
Well,
or even go with a bigger hook.
Yeah, I might just go with the bigger hook.
Because if you really liked the drape of that, you really want. It seems like you should do what you can to imitate that.
We'll see what I get when I get to that point. Because right now I have too many things going on. But go ahead.
Okay, so let me finish my last few stitches on this DPN. I'll probably switch projects in a second to something that I will not still be knitting on. Because of the mixture of a slightly heavier DPN and the fingering weight yarn, I don't like to leave it in the middle of the DPN because I feel like it pulls the stitches a little too much.
Right. I'm almost done with my tea.
This kind of almost looks like one of those, not warning things for like biohazard right now.
Oh, it doesn't. Not even
the black
remotely.
and the red now.
Not even remotely.
It amuses me.
Are you finished?
Biohazard cap.
Okay, are you ready to do your next one?
Yeah.
Okay.
It looks like a biohazard.
Such an oboe head.
Okay, so in my let me look at my show notes.
I thought you were going to say your silver shed notes.
So, this one I think I worked a couple rows today.
Yay!
Yay!
Is that when you first did it?
Yes.
You can't show that one, though, right?
I can't, but I can talk about it.
You're an oboe head.
Hi. Okay, so in my Silver Shed USA Christmas stocking bag by... Did I say Silver Shed USA already?
I don't know. I wasn't paying
By
attention.
Silver Shed USA.
I keep seeing, what's his name, Drax? I stopped listening after whatever he was.
He just says, I wasn't listening.
I wasn't listening, yeah.
So this is my Peanuts Christmas bag by Silver Shed USA. And this is the second stocking for the Lovebirds Christmas stocking. If you recall, that is a design that I made for my grandparents. The first stocking was my grandfather's, with red being the most, I would call it the primary color. In this one, I've made it so the green is the primary color.
Yeah, Grandma's favorite color is
Yeah.
green. I don't know what Grandpa's favorite color is. I don't think I know.
You're
what
a
his
horrible
favorite...
daughter.
No, I don't think I know what his favorite, because he never showed a preference.
Uh-huh.
He never did. He's just my dad. You have to understand my dad. He likes everything. He's really easy because he just likes everything. I don't think he's met a color he didn't like.
But no one's going to be able to doubt that the green one is Grandma's.
Yeah. which is why he can steal grandma's stuff. I don't think he'd do pink.
No. So right now the Christmas stocking is in testing. I have people on PHN testing it. I think it's one person on PHN. I have one person from Facebook, and I have 2 people from Fiberly. Fiberly is a website that I found where they have testers, because I know that with me coming out with tests as quickly as I am, it's a bit unreasonable for you guys to expect you guys to suddenly have room in your time to be able to keep up my time.
Yeah, I mean, they always get...
they always get first. I
test.
never say, I got someone on Fiberly, you guys don't get in.
No.
It's also a way for me to get my patterns out there a little bit, because actually one of my testers from Facebook was showing off my stuff to someone.
I'm going to show that in shop news.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
So yeah, but
because that's exciting.
yeah. Well, if it even pans out.
But still, it's exciting.
Yeah. But yeah. I have no idea why I'm waving this. This has nothing to do with anything. But yeah. Where was it going? It's currently in testing. Yes. And I know that not everyone has started it quite yet. Only one person has sent me much of the way of notes of it. Most everyone else is testing something else. And this is the one with the latest time period.
Right. So July, right?
Yeah, it's like late July. It's almost August.
Okay.
For that one. So.
All right.
But I wanted to get some work on it because partially I want to have the picture of both of them on the pattern, and also because I need to work on it and get it finished in time for Thanksgiving, which is usually when I see the grandparents give them the Christmas gifts. Because darn it, they're going to open it then. Like they did with the sweaters when I gave them their sweaters for Christmas.
For that, you mean at Thanksgiving time?
I gave it to them at Thanksgiving time, but it was their Christmas present.
Right. I don't know if they're going to be here for Thanksgiving with this coronavirus thing, if it's going to have another resurgence, but we'll see.
We'll see.
We can hope. All right. In my PHN chameleon bag, which was one of the kit. Oh, this is our 5-year thing. It was a kit. Anne did this with my dad. I always say that. My husband's artwork.
That is rather awkward, Mom.
I think because I'm talking about my father first. All right. This is my At the Bottom of the Hill scarf project. And this is modified from a book I saw down there at the bottom of the hill. I didn't buy the book. I just eyeballed the pattern and said, okay, that was kind of cool. I think this is what it is.
Yeah, you didn't even eyeball the pattern. You eyeballed the picture.
Yeah, I did, of the picture. So
did the yarn change, or did you just...
No, the yarn changed.
Okay.
This is James C. Brett. Let me see. This is the front.
Because it seems like this one is a little darker.
It is.
Okay.
This is James C. Brett. This is what it looks like. See, Ty?
Okay, yeah.
James C. Brett Marble Chunky. I'm going to go to the end of it, I think. I don't know if I'll need another one or not. I do have another skein up there, I think.
Yeah, I think we determined this last week. Yes, you do.
So this is fun. I did I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 rows on this yesterday. And I like this pattern. It's kind of neat. And we will see what I do with it after I finish it. So this might go to charity, or it might become a gift. If I like the way it turns out, it might be, some kind of gift.
Well, it's always nice to have things in your gift box that can also alternatively go to charity.
Right. So this is fun. This is fun.
So I guess that's my turn next. In my Star Knits R2 bag is the Divina Electric Turquoise hat, designed by me. And this is off of the Divina hat pattern. Actually, I think I just call it Divina pattern. I can't remember. I have to check my pattern. What do I have written here?
Linnea's came out really pretty.
Yeah, I have to take a look at Linnea's. I haven't looked at it yet because I saw that I had an email, but I haven't gotten around to, because 2 people finished it yesterday.
Thank you for the shout outs for her patterns, Linnea. That was really nice of you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I need to look at, because I have a couple emails related to patterns from yesterday, and I just didn't have the focus. And also I was busy designing. I got myself kind of into a zone, and I didn't want to break out of the zone. So I will answer those emails likely today. I was zoned.
Zoned out.
But this is my second Divina hat. I think all of my PHN testers have finished the hat. My Facebook testers finished it. I'm just waiting on my Fiberly tester. So, but she started a little bit later than everybody else. We might actually end up going to the dates of original planned release for her because she is a newer knitter. Mm-hmm. Actually, I got 2 testers from there. So those 2, both of them haven't finished yet. One started a little bit later than the other one. One of them is more of a crocheter than a knitter, although she does both. But she signed up for both the hat and the stocking because she loved them both and really wanted to do it. And I told her, that's fine. Let me know if you need help. I jumped in with knitting with sweaters, so I'm not gonna, judge somebody who wants to start. I mean, I think of Sunshine, she was a brand new crocheter and started with...
I think it was with the Unicorn?
Unicorn, it was one of the early
One of your
ones.
toys, yeah. One of your toys.
Started with Oops as a tester. So he's like, you know what? Everybody learns at a different pace.
I think if you try with something you love, you're more likely to finish it.
Right. Because if I had started with washcloths or with scarves, I would never have continued knitting. I had to start with sweaters because that's what I wanted to make. So yeah, suffice to say, the Divina's hat test, it's not just based on the PHNers or even my Facebook people finishing. I had to make sure everybody finishes with the test because everybody sees something different that another person might miss. You might say, well, like one tester might say, oh, well, this wasn't clear to me. Another tester might say, well, if you maybe worded something else differently, or maybe if you can have a picture of this. It's just multiple different views, which is very helpful. So thank you for all my awesome testers, especially for this Divina hat. You guys have been through the ringer because I had one day where I was really foggy and I kept sending revision after revision after revision that didn't make sense. So you guys are my heroes. Yay. Yay. Thankfully, the brand new knitter was not on the testing list at that time because I think I would have scarred her for life. She might have never returned to knitting ever again.
She just never would have tested for you again.
Never would have tested me for you again.
All right. My next one is in my Silver Shed USA Green Star Wars bag, and I can't show it to you. This is my Pesty Westy baby blanket, and Ty has that in testing. And all I can show you is the yarn.
Thank you for remembering, Mom.
Yeah, well, you almost didn't remember yours.
Which one?
The
Oh, yeah. Well, because I was debating at one point whether or not I just wanted to show it because it was already in testing.
So that's that. I can't show you anymore.
Yeah, because this one's not even in testing.
No.
Okay, so next one is I didn't work a whole lot on... No, I did. I worked on this one about every day. I usually work on this about 20 minutes to 40 minutes a day in the morning. Because I've noticed one of the things that kind of helps me a little bit with some of the sensory overload is keeping my hands busy. And I'd rather be making something than pinching myself or finding myself stimming or whatever when I'm having sensory overload. So I knit. And because I'm able to knit and read, when we read our prayers on a online video stream we have on Facebook, I can read and knit at the same time. And actually, I don't think... Because I keep my knitting under the table because I don't need to look at it. Mm-hmm. I don't know that everyone can tell that I'm knitting anymore. Right. Sometimes I'll bring it up if I can't.
The ones who are regulars know that you do it, but the others, it doesn't, and they don't care.
Yeah, and I don't think it's terribly obvious because I can knit a simple pattern without looking. I can just do it by touch, and I can read at the same time without really losing my place. Honestly, I've lost my place more when I'm not knitting than I have when I'm knitting.
When you're not knitting? You've lost your place?
Yeah, I have. Where I'll be reading and I had to put my finger on there.
Oh, the reading. I thought you were talking about losing your place in your knitting. Cause that's
no. That's why I was talking about I've lost my place with reading less when I'm knitting.
Confusion. La 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 la.
That's rude.
Confusion. La 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 la.
So,
you should know.
This is in my Ravelry bag. Because I am now pulling out all the totes because...
Are you going to open it?
I opened it and then I closed it.
For what purpose?
Because I wanted to.
Are you going to show it?
No, I can't.
Oh, okay. Well, you should say that because everybody's sitting there with bated breath saying, what the heck?
This is a design in progress.
Oh, you didn't say that either.
Design in progress. There, I said it.
Okay. Oboe head?
Oboe head.
Okay. In my Kiki Boo Owl, I hope that lady who's checking out our podcast doesn't check this one first.
Better she check out this one than the last
There
one.
was a really sweet lady. I posted my one of my yarns on the I have to show that too, by the way. One of my yarns on my hand dyeing group without the tags because you can't do any promotion.
Right.
And I explained why it's the 400 episode giveaway. And we got to talking, and she learned why I was doing that for the 400 giveaway because I just mentioned it was a podcasting milestone, and she wanted to know what it was, so I told her about that, and she was really excited about that. She was going to come and join us and visit us. I said, we're a bit of acquired taste. But she was really sweet. She's going to check us out, so I hope it's not this podcast. But if it is, hi.
I honestly hope it is this podcast and some of the other ones. Can you imagine if she caught a Sleepy Talia episode?
Oh my gosh.
Or, let's see. Let's run through the different variations that are Please Don't Catch This Podcast for your first one. Sleepy Talia. Error episode.
She might have caught that one already.
Oh gosh, poor woman. Please don't judge us based on error episode. Because I was in a really weird, cranky mood, I think, that episode. I also wasn't feeling very well, so I was really not a pleasant person that episode.
But anyway, hi.
Hi. So I hope that was not your first podcast. I'd rather this be your first podcast because this is a little closer to our normal. And I have like a hair.
We tend to
random hair.
We tend to get for those.
Oh, that's DPN, not a
for those
hair.
who aren't used to us, or or if she's just checking us out, we do get goofy sometimes. It happens. Okay.
Honestly, that is more of our original flavor.
Yes.
Pre me getting super sick.
Yeah.
Not super sick. That's dramatic. Sick.
Chronically sick.
Yeah.
All right. In my Kickapoo Owl's bag is my apple red preemie hat, and I didn't do a whole lot on this really. I just did a couple more rows. It's just a little Cindy Wood loom preemie hat in Knit Picks Brava in red.
I was gonna say, you didn't work a ton on that, right?
No, not really.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Well, I mean, it's probably about as much as I worked on this Divina hat. I think I did like half a row or a row yesterday.
Didn't you have to show?
Honestly, I only started working on this so I could work on the podcast because it was an easy one.
Right.
I was like, I need something easy to work on. I don't feel like having a blanket on my lap. So my next one is another baby blanket.
You can't show?
That I can't show because it's another baby blanket pattern.
I like this bag. It's soft.
Oh, I do like this bag too. I had to move my yarn so it wasn't caught. This is my Knitter's Magic brown bag with kitties on the inside.
And I hope she opens up again soon.
Yes. So, my brain is gone. This one I enjoy. The other one is simpler and I don't have to look at while I'm knitting it. This one is simple but has a little bit, I do have to look at it because there are some slight changes. I can say that is a 4-row repeat.
It's red?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a 4-row repeat. And the funny thing is, even though I started the other one well before this one is about at the same spot because with a 4-row repeat, I keep going, I'll just go another row. And then I go, well, I can't just go another row. I got to go another 4 rows. So it builds really quickly. There's just enough interest in it to keep me going. But I think it was Dan and Kay who both said that 4-row repeats are like that magic
the
number where you can just do it and it just seems to go really fast. And I find that now. This is probably one of my first patterns where I do have something like a 4-row repeat.
Right.
And I'm really kind of enjoying that.
Do you think that pattern will work out okay with a pooling or variegated yarn? Or does that have to be tonal?
No, I think it would be fine. Okay. I'll be able to show you a little bit later. So this got a little bit of work. I hadn't worked on it quite as much because I was focused on some of the other patterns. And then on Sunday I spent all my time knitting that huge amount on the cap.
Right.
But yeah, I do need to get the move on these blankets. Both of them I'm knitting the smallest size.
Okay, now this one is in my Silver Shed USA pink tortoise bag. And this one was a new start, and this is why I didn't have stuff done on other things. This is the beginning of a hat.
Yay.
And the pattern is the flip top beanie from Brianna Mewborn, and this is on Craftsy. Not on Craftsy, on Love Crafts. And it looks like this. Divina loved it when she saw the picture.
Oh, did she?
So I have to do that in her colors. Can you see that all right?
I think they can. It's kind of like a flapper hat.
Yes, I got it with the idea that I would wear it because it's one of those hats where it doesn't bother my neck.
Right. And Divina loves anything that's stylish or that she deems stylish.
So it's crocheted and it worked up really fast. I did this in one sitting, and I'll show you what else I did in one sitting later on.
Yeah.
But this is really fast. It works up. This is a worsted weight yarn.
It's actually probably fairly warm because it's crochet.
Yeah. Well, the thing about crocheting, if you don't do it right, you could get the wind goes through the holes.
Yeah, that is true. And I have noticed that more so with crochet than knitting.
Yeah. So I like these more to have a little warmth if it's not windy, and fashionable. You know, a little fashionable type of hat. So that's that.
And I have one final.
And I have one more after that.
Okay, so in my Tortoise versus Hare Silvershed USA bag, I think we determined this was year 1s or year 2s.
It has tortoise and hare. It was whatever the first year was because it has
it's both of them.
Yeah.
And this has the Birtle on it.
Yeah, I like
this. Was started. The design was written the day before yesterday, and I started it yesterday because I had to wait until my needles were freed up.
Did I see this?
You saw a little bit of it. Hang on, let me show it to you.
Oh yeah. Got it. Right.
So this is another cowl pattern. I've determined as I'm trying out charts and as I'm writing new charts, particularly for color work, I really like working them in cowls because then later on, if I want to, I can use that chart and move it to a different thing. Like I've been actually looking at measurements for baby sweaters. I might start with the baby vest first. And be going, okay, well, how would I transfer that chart? So I've got a bunch of measurements because I think that might be my next step of pushing my boundaries a little bit. Is starting with the baby sweater.
It'd be good.
I've looked at all the maths for it. So right now I'm just trying to develop enough charts to get to the point where I would have something that I would want on there. Because I have a definite kind of thing, even though I really like knitting geometric designs like you saw on my kep, I don't really feel called to design that way. I like, very similar to when I knit toys, I like to have something that looks almost like it's drawn.
Right.
So, kind of like the bunnies were for the bunny cowl. And so I'm starting to see that style developing on my cowls. In which case, I'm also moving farther away from what's already set, from pulling from traditional, and I'm starting to create my own charts based on things that I've observed and have pictures of, like live pictures like of animals, with a little sketch that I might have put together either on my mind or on the chart, and then I tweak it till it looks like what I want it to look like. So a lot of the charts you might be seeing are going to be purely original to me, not pulling from any
That's cool.
traditional sources. And this one has all original charts.
Cool.
With maybe aspects that I might have gone like, I liked that from that chart, but the rest of it I'm adjusting for me. So this is I almost feel like this one's kind of like a milestone for me. Although the one before it that I'll show later really was the beginning of that milestone.
Okay, my last one is a new technique for me. I didn't realize, I knew there was stuff like interlock and stuff for crochet. I didn't realize there was mosaic crochet.
That's really cool.
So my husband, Taya, picked up a book that I wanted to get, and I bought it. I paid her back.
Yeah, I just wanted to get it because she shut down her computer, and I didn't want her to lose it because there's only one left.
And that one's coming. But as a nod to stash enhancements, my husband picked up a book for me, a Kindle book, that has this stuff in it as well. Because the one you got me is no longer available.
Yeah, that's why it was so important that we got it for you.
So this is just out of the first chapter.
And it's a good way to learn how to do it is...
So it's mosaic. Oh, I lost my hook. Okay. I lost my whatever it was. Here.
Do you have one in there?
I did, but I must have... Here's my hook. Let me Yeah, there it is. Okay. Somehow it came out of mine.
Sometimes it happens.
Okay, so you can see this is Mosaic Crochet.
You know, that would be really cool for a turtle type pattern,
Mm-hmm.
like on a blanket or something. And
Well,
then
I have some ideas running around in my head.
because you
So-
would almost do like a lovey type thing.
I have a couple of ideas in my head. for
I'm
different
really
things.
excited about Mom taking some of these extra steps of crochet because this is something she feels comfortable ripping out. So she can really go wild with this.
This is a little bit loose. This is my first attempt, so some of these things are a little bit
Well,
wonky.
you're going to be, you had to learn the technique first.
But
But I think that you will feel more confident when learning this because crochet's your comfort zone.
so you can see, and this is cool because I've always wanted, one of the things that attracted me to knitting was the stuff that you could do.
Uh-huh.
And this, it seems to be pretty self-explanatory. I mean, I've got a lot. This is very basic.
But well, you had to start somewhere.
And so I'm kind of excited about
You
it.
should be excited about it.
It'll be fun. And once I figure out how to work this, you may see.
Well, it all, to some extent, it actually looks a little bit more flexible than mosaic and knitting because it doesn't need to look like you need to worry about what's below it.
Well, you do in some ways. It looks really good on the back, too. You do in some ways because of the way you have to put the stitch for the actual mosaic part of
Okay.
it. But it's not difficult. You just
It
have
looks
to pay
like
attention.
it's more flexible. At least the way that I'm trying, when I'm looking at it, the way I think it's built, it looks like it's, if you might have ability to do more things with it than you do for
Well, I'd certainly,
mosaic.
I'd certainly be more comfortable in
Uh-huh.
it. I've already pulled back on this when I realized that the way I did it was wrong.
Uh-huh.
But and I'm going to try and finish this either as a, kind of a hanging thing or a book. It's too heavy for a bookmark, but or as a scrubby.
Yeah, or something like that. Yeah.
So this is just kind of working things out. There's a hat pattern that follows this in the book. And I found a wonderful lady who does a series of videos on this, and I put her under instructional or whatever I did for tutorials for my YouTube, because she has a whole bunch of stuff starting at like step 1. So that, and I'm sorry I don't remember her name. I'll have to figure. If you guys want to know, let me know, and I'll try and figure it out for you. But you may see some designs from me with this kind of stuff.
I think it's really great because crochet's always been your safe place. Even when you've been working on the loom knitting, we haven't been able to push you to get past a certain area. You've always pushed your own boundaries with crochet.
So that's that.
Now it leads us on to FOs.
Do you have an FO to show here?
No.
Okay, I do. This is the other thing I was working on because that hat was a start after I finished this one, which is the same pattern. Now, I didn't realize until later, and I showed it to my husband. He's like, they're not going to be able to wear that with the eyes in there because of this.
Oh, you're right.
See, here was supposed to be buttons, but I was like, this looks like Leonardo.
Oh.
I have no idea what I'm going to do with it. This is that hat.
Is there a way you can make something to go over the back and cover that?
It's too... I don't know what I'm going to do with this, but it might just sit on one of the toys or something. But this is how easy this thing worked up when I was watching a religious video on Sunday. I did this in one sitting and
That's
started
great.
this one.
That's great.
So this is a really nice pattern, and when I saw the way it was, like, this has to be Leonardo. It just has to be.
Yeah, you'll have to find something to put it on. That's such a shame that it would hurt.
Yeah, it would hurt. And this is the child's size. And
You can't be
kinda-
scratching your sensitive little skin.
And I kind of messed up on this on my count, but it's fun. I enjoyed making it.
I was just looking around to see what you could put it on.
Yeah, I might have to hang it somewhere, but I don't know. So this is my FO, and I don't know exactly what's going to happen to it, but there it is. Because I was stupid and put
Eyes in it.
eyes in it. That's, unless you want to have like Franken baby, it's cute. I like it. I thought about like adding on to the bottom and making it a head or something.
Mm-hmm.
But
because that was my other thought too. And you do have that flexibility with.
Yeah, you can just pick it up.
I mean, you can do that for knitting as well, but because you're a little more comfortable with crochet, I think you would still feel comfortable.
Well, I'd be able to rip it back if I decided I wanted to, but I probably won't do that. I just, it's just.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Okay, so usually before we go on to shop news, we go on to reading, watching, and stash enhancements.
Yeah, I touched on my stash enhancement with the book that I'm doing the Mosaic from. That was the only one I really had.
Can I show this one now, or does that have to wait for your yarn?
No, you can show it.
Okay.
Just don't mention anything about it.
So Mom gave me a little, she's been giving me minis. Like when she dyes yarn, she'll give me an extra little mini, which is great. Eventually when I have enough colors, I'm going to have to figure out something to design color work with all these little finger weight minis, because they all go together. I had the potential for something quite fun. Mm-hmm. So right now I'm just collecting them and waiting for the ideas to develop. And because that's actually not a bad method of doing things when you're a designer. And actually the kep that I'm knitting right now, 3 of the colors were mini skeins. Not your mini skeins, but 3 of them were mini skeins I happen to have, which probably weren't much bigger than this. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you can definitely work a color work pattern with.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and I don't do all my colors because I don't know if she wants to have the minis in variegated.
Not usually.
I don't do those necessarily.
Not to mention that'd be more work.
Well, I just do whatever I'm doing with the with the yarn. Let's see here. But
no, I usually prefer a plainer yarn.
Yeah. I'm still reading Scoundrels, although I've gone pretty quickly through the last couple of chapters or so because I've actually sat down and read it.
Yeah, she came into my room and wanted to talk about one of the characters yesterday.
Yeah. So
because you got so excited about them.
Yeah. So I'm reading that, and I'm listening to Fellowship of the Ring, Lord of the Rings, and also I've been listening to Poirot. Mm-hmm. I did that the other day. I was talking to Wombat of Doom.
Well, she's been watching it, yeah.
And I was watching one, and she was watching one. I think she was watching it. She said she had to go do dinner.
Because she was saying that the first couple episodes, they're all killed by the same thing. I think it was strychnine. Mm-hmm. Which the show is not really based on the books because they have the movies and then they have the show, which is not taken from any of the books. It's like in the mood of.
Right.
Because I've watched them, like that's not in any of the books.
Yeah, I've noticed that. In fact, this one that I watched that I just finished. The one I finished watching before the last one was called The Yellow Iris, and I'd never seen it before.
And I don't think it's any of the short stories. Sorry, I'm running through my head because I actually have read most of the Poirot books. I actually still have it downstairs somewhere. Do you remember it was a little thin book, and it was basically a list of Agatha Christie books, and in it that you could check off I have it, or I've read it, or I want to have it. And I got that like when I was in high school, like early high school, and I would take it with me to bookstores. Be like, okay, do I have this one?
Right. Because it's very easy to get the same ones over and over again.
Well, she has a lot of books.
You need that for someone like Terry Brooks too, because it's just.
Well, I don't know that a lot of authors have something like that.
No, I said you need something like that.
You do need something like that, but for me, like I carried that with me, because I think there were a couple times that I ended up doubling it. Now, I didn't actually own all of the Agatha Christie books I read because there were plenty of times when I was 10 to 12 where when you would go to the library, there was this little reference section that was away from everyone else. No one ever went in there.
I used to go in there once in a while.
Yeah, but usually it was just me. And every once in a while I would read like the cliff notes of things just because I was curious. So that's how I read Canterbury Tales
not the same.
From the ages 10 to 12, you know, I read Canterbury Tales with cliff notes, but because I was curious. But I used to snag Agatha Christie books from one section at library and take it back to the reference section and just lay on the floor.
That was the old library before they got the new one because it had like a safe or something that I used to go in. Was that the reference room? I don't remember.
It was a room that was closed off from the other rooms, and it just had like shelves upon shelves, and no one ever went in there. I think it was reference room because that's where I had like cliff notes and everything like that.
Right, because I remember a room, and the reason I seem to remember it having like it always reminded me of a hobbit hole, like a round door.
I don't remember what the door looked like. I remember we'd walk. So you walk in the door of the library, and there were the tables here, and then off to the left was the reference room.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm talking about.
And that was where I would hide, and no one else ever came in there. So I was every once in a while, but I usually could just lay out on the floor with my Agatha Christie books. And yeah, Agatha Christie was a huge part of my formative years. I think I read every single Poirot book just about. I didn't get all of them, and I didn't care for Miss Marple as much. I think because my grandma got me started on Poirot.
Miss Marple is okay, and I didn't like her program as much either.
I just couldn't get as connected. I think his Poirot was funny and a little bit pompous, a lot pompous.
But he had a good heart.
Yeah.
He got very easily offended.
Because you called him French and not Belgian.
Well, I would get offended if somebody called me what I wasn't too. Not the first time maybe, but
yeah.
You know.
But yeah, so that was a completely random rant. But I don't think that particular one, The Yellow Iris, was in any of the short stories, because I do have several short stories collections.
Yeah.
And I actually have to be careful when I give away any Agatha Christie books, since I have a lot of them on Kindle, because some of them you can't get on Kindle.
Right.
Particularly some of the short stories.
Right.
And I don't want to accidentally give away one like that. I hoard certain books, particularly since the Agatha Christie, some of them have memories connected to them, because I had them for so long.
Right.
Like, I would never give away my first Poirot book.
Right.
Grandma gave me Hercule Poirot Christmas, and that was my first Agatha Christie.
Now, I did do some writing to the shared story, and not too much other writing. Oh, I had prompting this week for the Percolator group. I did all the
Steve
prompts.
wrote a couple things, but...
Yeah, I told him I'd be back to read it, but I haven't done that yet. So, I am done with my prompting. Today was my last day for this week. I put my name down, and usually when you put your name down, the person who does it, she does a fantastic job. But the person who does the prompts usually looks at who did it first, and if they didn't say anything about where they can do it, she just puts them in order of how she receives them.
Right.
So I thought, okay, I'm safe. I got it a couple weeks or so. She looked at it. I looked at it the next morning. I was like, oh, I'm supposed to be prompting today.
I wonder, because sometimes with Facebook comments, the comment will be moved what order it is, and the most recent person who comments will sometimes be put at the top. So I'm wondering if that's what happened.
I don't know. It usually doesn't do that, but might have done.
I've seen it happen occasionally.
I don't know. I also will do it over in the Percolator group in the email that's still active somewhat, so that she doesn't miss it. And maybe she went there first.
Yeah.
So,
because I think a lot of people are focusing on the Facebook group, because that's where I know I don't go to the email anymore.
I'm not the only one who posts things there, because stories and stuff comes. I don't know if it's Doris or Donna who sometimes posts stories in both groups.
Oh, okay.
So okay.
I do have something, not stash enhancement, but other than what I showed, but I haven't been doing, I've done a little bit of religious reading, but mostly what I've been watching, I was watching a class on Great Courses, rewatching a class on the history of forensics. It was a Great Courses class I'd had, and I like this professor. I have listened to a couple of her forensic classes. But the one that I've just started is on Great Courses Plus, so that's a subscription. So this class is not one that I purchased, because I probably wouldn't have purchased this class on its own. Even though I was interested, I'm not sure if I would have put out the money for it. So I get to watch this not for free, but it comes with a subscription. It's called, it was on Russian history and culture. And actually, I'm getting some design ideas with the architecture.
Oh, sure.
So every once in a while, I stop and take a screenshot and just save that. Because their architecture is very, it's ripe for the color work. So I'm like, okay, I will file that away for future, because they've got some beautiful architecture.
Yeah, they do.
That's a Byzantine influence for that
the Byzantine,
culture.
The Greek, the Russian, that kind of.
Well, they were highly influenced, bless you, by the Byzantine Empire, excuse me, because they considered themselves the new Byzantine Empire after that fell.
I'm still doing the book club thing with the Daughters of St. Paul, but it's kind of an odd time for me, and they go over the time limit, so I have to leave when I thought it was supposed to end, which is 9 o'clock my time, because I turn into a pumpkin at 8:30. So, so I waited till 9 o'clock, and it's a very fast pace. We're reading Mary, Mother of Apostles, and it's interesting. It's very
I'm glad I
interesting.
didn't put in for that because I think that would have been too much.
It's very frenetic. It's very
yeah.
hard
I don't
to
think
keep.
I would have been able to handle
This
that.
past week I was able to stay awake and not that it's boring, but I was tired the week before. But it was very hard to get a word in edgewise, and also because when I can read it, I don't always have the time to pay attention so I can give a valid or valuable input, and I just sit there. And if I try to say something and somebody else jumps in, then I lose my train of thought. So I think I'm gonna go one more time, and then I might just, if I can't get in some kind of a rhythm, I'm just going to finish the book with the study guide on my own, because it's too late and I'm not able to.
You're not getting everything out of it.
I'm not getting all that I can. It has nothing to do with the book club itself or the presenters. Daughters are wonderful. The people involved are wonderful. It's just, it's a little too fast paced for me to keep up. So we'll see what happens with that. Now, before we go into your shop news and stuff, if you don't want to talk about anything else, like book related or...
No, I don't think it's because I haven't really been reading anything. I watched one episode of Avatar, The Last Airbender yesterday, but I've been trying to space those out a little bit because I think the week where I got really addicted to it and like finished a season in a week, I really paid for it. I felt extremely ill, and I thought it was just the weather, but I think maybe I made it worse by watching something that was action with a lot of stuff going on. I mean, it wasn't really action, it's a kid's cartoon.
Right.
And I didn't think at the time I was stressing my body out, but I watched one episode and I noticed hot and cold flashes. I should have stopped then. So yesterday I watched one and then I took a break.
Right.
And I was going to watch another one much later, but then it got late. I'm like, I'm not going to do that right before bed.
Yeah.
So I might watch another one today, but then I can't watch a second one right after. I need to make sure I take a break. Because I need to listen to my body a little better.
Now, before we get into the shop news and stuff, I did want to go into the 400 episode giveaway. I did get a chance. This is to dye up a skein of yarn for this. It's a one-off. I might be able to do something similar, but because the base was a hodgepodge, it's not going to be exact. So I'm going to have to figure that out if I decide I want to do that.
Hodgepodge.
This is fingering sock. It's the 400 PHN episode giveaway colorway. It's an OOAK. 462 yards, 100 grams, 75/25, fine superwash merino wool, and nylon. So this is the color. If you can see better the different kind of... There are a few pops of a natural in here as well. I don't know if you can see.
I think we could see a little bit.
I was happy at the way it kind of divided out. I was afraid it was going to have like a big blotch, because this technique is a little bit this one, even when you have the recipe, because of the nature of the way you dye it, it can be somewhat different because it's just the way it dyes up. But this is going to be in a thread.
It's not a technique you use all the time.
It is a technique I use a fair amount, but not the way I did it this time.
Oh, okay.
I modified it. It was something I said, I wonder what would happen if I do this. And I really like the results of it. This is for the 400 episode giveaway, 5 episodes later. And it will be in the thread, so if you want a chance to win this, you need to be a part of the PHN group, and you can find the link to the group in the Dropbox, whatever that's called, the message box below the YouTube.
It's a Dropbox, I think, yeah.
Yeah, right below the video. You can find out how to get in our homepage. And this will be up. I haven't decided how long yet. We'll see. If I see it slowing down, then I might just close it. We'll have at least a week, at least.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 for this. It's a 400 member giveaway. Colorway. I really like the way it turned out.
Yeah, it turned out very nice.
It's red. She likes red. Okay. So that takes care of that for the giveaway. I should have said that at the top, but I forgot.
Anything else for shop news for you?
Do you want me to go right into that?
Yeah.
Okay. I did have an update, and I will be having another update soon. where I can put in, I showed you these last week, these two last week. This one is, it was very hard to photograph these. This is kind of a charcoal gray purple, shades of that.
Did you not show that last week?
I did. I'm just showing it again.
Oh, okay. I got confused.
This one is a sparkle base. Both of these are sparkle base. Someone bought the non-sparkle base already of both of these. They contacted me like right after the podcast, which I was really appreciative of. This is Fingering Sock in a sparkle base, and it's this is a this is Purple Passion Tulips. This is the one that Laura inspired, Laura Concert, and this one is a variant. I decided, well, I want to make something a little bit different, and this one is called Pulled Out a Plum. Okay, that's, I showed you those last week, but they were not reskeined. Mm-hmm. This one, I don't know what I did with the, I think I already put it up there. This is the Fingering Sock Sparkle Base of the Courtly Love, but this will not be available till July 1st because of the exclusivity of the kits, where this is one of the colorways. This is the other colorway for the fingerless mitts. Mm-hmm. And we have till the end of the month for you guys to get that as a kit. Mm-hmm. Both the red and the blue will be good for dysautonomia cardiac.
Yes, they will.
So you could hold off on making them until then if you wanted to. They make really good gifts if you want to, you know, if you like to do something like that. Now the other colors I'm going to be putting up, Patty's going to laugh.
Good heavens, how many did you...
Pardon?
How many did you dye up?
Well, I had to do heels, toes, and cuffs for one thing. And I should have another...
Were you supposed to give me that mini skein? Is that actually supposed to be? Okay.
Okay. So I have, this is Tri-Violets, and there's a story behind it. Patty told me, but I don't know that this is Wombat of Doom. She told me the story, and because it was not my story, I don't want to tell it because I might get it wrong. But it's really funny. And this is, I have two of them in, this is Tri-Violets. This is Fingering Sock, 462 yards, 75-25, fine superwash merino wool, and nylon. So I have two of these in the Fingering Sock, Tri-Violets. Okay. I'm just going to pull it part way off so you can see it a little better. Okay. It's got shades of purple to it. And the funny thing is, purple is not my favorite color. It's just something I like working with, apparently, in terms of dyeing yarn. Mm-hmm. And then these are the DK, okay? And this is 246 yards, 100% superwash merino wool. And this is also Tri-Violets. That's the colorway I gave Talia too.
Yes.
Tri-Violets. Because I had to do the special order, I decided I might as well make some for the shop.
Right.
So there's two in the DK. They're really pretty for like whatever, you know. Mm-hmm. There. So those will be going up the shop. But as you can see, a bit of a purple kick.
Yeah, I'd say.
Okay. So that will be changing as I move into doing other things. You know, I want to start doing things for cardiac and tortoise versus hare and stuff like that. Plus some of the spring type yarns that I haven't put in, like, you know, Happy and You Know It and all those kind of yarns that I probably should have done for autism but didn't have the time.
Right. Like so. Happen and other things wanted to cut dyed.
Yeah.
Before I go into the FO related Franciscan Gypsy designs, I do want to address I have been asked, I'm going to out you, I've been asked by Brittany if I would consider doing a tortoise bookmark the way that I have a bunny bookmark. I have put it on the list. I don't have anything charted out yet, but I will keep it in mind. Right now it's not readily building in my head, but it's definitely something I can keep in mind. I tried sketching out something and I didn't like it, so it'll sit back there percolating until something develops, because this next one I'm going to show you actually has been a while in percolating, because I knew that I wanted to do something like that, because it had been mentioned a couple times to me that it might be nice to have something, because of the not heart bunnies is the bookmark, because of the bunny love cowl. People are like, well, what about the turtle love?
Turtles.
And
You need to do an owl love.
it took a little while, and then one day it just hit me what I wanted it to look like. And then after that point, it was done in a little over 24 hours, the original one. Now, I am going to show you first the original.
That you showed last week.
That I showed last week. And then the one that, it's still a little damp, because I finally blocked them both. This one didn't show up very well, because I did poor color choices. It's showing up a little better this week. Yeah. I wonder if the blocking helped it a little bit.
Oh, it did, yes.
It's still not showing up very well, and I'll probably keep this one or give it to Mom or something, because this is not something I would give to anybody. I'm not happy with the contrast. And someone had mentioned about taking black and white picture. I was lazy. I know this trick. It's a very good trick, and thank you for mentioning it. But yeah, I was doing a different trick, which is the candy cane trick, which I don't know why I do that. We use twist both yarns together. Some people say it works. For me, it never does. For me, the best way to do is take a black and white picture. And I know this, and I was too lazy, and I didn't. I just wanted to get started. So from now on, I'm just taking a black and white picture, and I take the original picture, then I make a copy of that picture, make the second picture black and white, and then I have an app on my phone where I can then have the pictures in the same frame, so they're one picture, so I have the colorized and the black and white right next to each other, so I can see the contrast and know which yarn it is. And that's just the way I do it now, because if I had done that for this in the first place, I wouldn't have had this issue. Now, the picture took a lot better than I expected after I blocked it, so I'll probably still have a picture of that in the pattern, but the one that'll be the main focus. And actually I need to change the colors on the chart to match the main one. But this is that not showing up very well?
Looks good. I can see it. It shows up better in person.
Why is this showing up so poorly? There.
It shows up better in person. I don't know if it's the lighting in here.
Because it shouldn't be showing up. It's like got really great contrast.
I think it's just the lighting.
That's super disappointing.
It looks great.
You can't even tell.
I can.
I think it's a little better.
Yeah, you can see it.
Okay, so I'm sorry. I don't know why the lighting is not, because it does show up really well.
I can see it.
It's not showing it to its full potential.
No, it's not, but it's beautiful. And it shows up well in the picture, too.
That's really sad. But yeah, it is actually a really good contrast, which I'm not sure why it's not picking up as well as it should.
Yeah, when you do this, you get too much shadow. Keep it up like that. Yeah.
So that's showing up a little bit better. So this is the Turtle Love. And that will go up for testing. Pretty soon. I need this to dry a little bit more. Not that it affects testing, but I do need it to dry. It's still damp. And this is a little bit taller and a smidge wider than the bunny one.
Was it just the pattern repeats and stuff that made it that way, or?
It was also a bigger yarn.
Oh, okay.
This is a DK, while the other one was a sport, because that's the yarn that I happen to have available. And
you use them interchangeably.
I do tend to use them interchangeably, but did make it different. And this pattern is actually written for DK.
Right.
So I don't think as many people carry sport in their stash. I've noticed that I had a couple people who tested the bunny one who used DK instead, and actually that affected their yardage, so they needed more.
Right. That's good to know. So,
because at first I was confused why I had several people who were like, yeah, my yardage was this much more, and it was quite a bit significant amount. I'm like, that's nowhere near what my yardage was. And I looked at their yarn, and they were using DK. I'm like, I wonder if that made a big difference for them, because
you might want to put that in your pattern. DK yarn tend to be this because of testers and sport weight.
Well, I don't have it listed in the pattern that should be DK.
Oh, okay.
For the
well, then you just do the usual disclaimer. If you use a different yarn, you might have to use,
because
different yardage.
Yeah. I just ended up, I always go with the highest amount of yarn that people use, and I just mark that down as the pattern. And then I actually go a little bit over that, so people always have enough.
Yeah, it's important.
But yeah, so that is going to be due to enter testing. And then I can have it finish testing, like, at the beginning of the Tortoise versus Hare. It might not be right at the beginning, but, like, toward the beginning of Tortoise versus Hare, so people can have that available to them. I looked into Etsy about making, like, a category just for Tortoise versus Hare patterns, but I can only have it then in that section. I don't want it separate from my other patterns. You can't have it in 2 categories at once.
Right. Well, you could just put it in that section during the Tortoise versus Hare, and then you can take it out of that section and put it in your patterns afterward.
Yeah, I mean, I could do that. I don't really want to, because not everyone's going to be involved with Tortoise versus Hare, and I don't want it not to get seen by other people who go to my shop who aren't involved with the group. So, for me, that's not beneficial.
Yeah. Well, I always have to think about it, like when I have kits and things like that, whether I'm going to put it in the kits or I'm going to put it, wherever. Okay. Anything else?
No, I think that's about it. Again, this one, even though I didn't work on it quite as strong as I did the other one because I didn't have the same time crunch that I felt like I had, it's still a pretty fast knit. I mean, I think I barely had it cast on. I don't think I had it cast on before the last podcast. I might have just had it cast on.
I don't know.
I just had it cast on because I was working on it on the podcast.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I mean, I got it done in a little less than a week.
Okay, so we are planning to podcast next Saturday, all things remaining equal. Ty has a doctor appointment on Monday, so if you can keep her in your prayers, her and my husband, because they're going out to brave the outside. We know that, we're phasing into step 2 or stage 2 or phase 2 or whatever it's called. Yeah. But my husband...
Sounds like the Marvel Universe. They talk about their different phases.
Well, we are superheroes. So my husband doesn't want me or Divina going out. He wants to minimize that kind of stuff. So she'll be going out on Monday for her doctor appointment, and then she has a follow-on on Tuesday.
They'll call... Yeah, I'll actually talk to the doctor via like Zoom or Skype or something.
Yeah, at home. So, so that's...
I just have to get some testing done.
Yeah, if you can keep her in prayers for that, that would be nice. Yeah, so I guess we want to thank all the people who commented either on YouTube or on the PHN home. We want to thank Pat, Brittany, Rena, Looney Hiker, Steph, Sequa 75, Fiber Hermit, and Chronically Crocheting. If I missed anybody, it's only because I didn't see you. Because these were the people when I checked this morning. So, but whoever you are, who've commented, who've watched, we're glad to have you with us. Please do feel free to join us for the Fun in the Woman Cave at the group.
Yes.
And the information's in the Dropbox or whatever that's called. And we will hope to see you next week. This is the Pen, Hook, and Needles podcast, episode 405, and that's a wrap.
Bye.